President Trump is already talking 2020, and so are the Democrats. So, who are the frontrunners, the dark horses, and who really stands a chance? Joining us now with an early look at the field is Greg Gutfeld. He is the co-host of The Five and the host of the Greg Gutfeld Show.
Yes.
It's got your name in it, so it must be true.
It is. I'm very excited about 2020.
Are you?
Oh, yeah.
Interesting.
It's like, I saw a list of 90% of the people I've never heard of, but it's such an exciting time to watch the Democrats implode the way the Republicans did. Right?
Because so many people.
With so many people on one stage, what it does is it creates an opportunity for one person to stand out, which is what happened. It's that contrast theory. The reason why Trump did so well is because 17 people were from the same pond. Right?
Yes, exactly right.
And he was not. And if there were 4 or 5 Trumps, then there would have been a problem, but there's only one Trump. So I came up with a criteria. Would you like to hear it?
I've got one too. I want to hear yours first.
Okay, number one. You have to have somebody who can deal with Donald Trump.
Yes.
Right? So that's basically, you don't want a Prius. You want a 4x4 with traction control and mud tires. You want a car that can go off-road, so that the candidate needs to be able to go off-road to meet with Trump. This is something that hasn't happened before. Most candidates have to go against candidates that are similar to each other. In this case, that's not going to happen. You also have to have a sense of humor because you're going up against somebody who's funny. You got to be persuasive, which means that you can't talk in jargon. You got to talk like a 12th grader or an 8th grader. And you got to be surprising. The interesting thing about Trump is that he wasn't a by-the-book conservative by any means. So you can't be a cookie-cutter left-winger or right-winger. You have to surprise people by zigzagging. And you got to let go of the anger and be more about unity and less about divisiveness. I've come up with even a motto for the Democrats, but I'm not going to share it with them.
Because you don't want them to take your ideas.
Exactly. But think about it, 2020, the perfect vision.
Oh, my God.
Yes.
That's some kind of spectacles company.
Yes.
Now, look, the thing that I totally agree with you, because you didn't mention anything about whether they had to be moderate or progressive or this or that.
I think
that whole conversation is irrelevant.
Isn't that scary? It's scary because the thing is, I grew up with an ideology that had to be an important thing. Now it's about persuasiveness.
Yes.
And it's like, so...
So I tell you what I thought was, like, I was trying to think of, like, what's the real thing if I was trying to pick the right one for them. I think it's more than anything, it's someone who's exciting, who's interesting. So my sort of negative version of that was like the snooze index, who's the most boring.
Yes.
You just want to avoid the boring people. So speaking of which, we have some here.
Great.
And I'm going to test them out against your criteria. So who is that to start? Who is this person?
That guy, I think, sold me
This is like my impression of Judge Janine. You know, street justice going
Exactly. And then she hits you if you're wrong. But he sold me homeowners insurance last year.
Interesting.
Yes. I don't know his name, though. Or he's like a character actor in Law & Order. He always plays the architect in Law & Order. He's the one that they come...
make sure the audience see this person.
Yeah, he's the one that the cops visit first, and he's like, he knew the victim, but then it turns out at the end, in the twist, he's the killer. Does he look? He looks like a Law & Order architect.
So this is John Hickenlooper. Who was definitely in the dark horse.
He's a governor of Colorado.
Colorado, there you are. So a lot of people like him.
You know what I like about him? His name, Hickenlooper.
Well, I was going to ask you about the name.
Is
it possible to have a President Hickenlooper?
I don't know. It sounds like a gadget from a science fiction movie. Get the Hickenlooper! Quick to the Hickenlooper!
What about this person?
Mark Cuban. I'm a fan of the Shark Tank. It's a good show. I like him in Shark Tank because he hates scams. Whenever everybody comes up with a product that, like, is supposed to cure something, he gets really angry. He's somebody that you're not quite sure what his politics are.
So he sounds like he's pretty good on your checklist. I'm going to give him to you.
I'll give him a 1 to 10. I'm giving him a banana.
You didn't want Hickenlooper. What about this?
I think that I saw her on The View the other day. Not that I watched The View. It's just on at the gym.
Who is it?
Kristen Gillibrand.
Very good. Okay.
Not Christine Gillibrand, which is what Jesse Waters would say.
Right.
Because he always gets names wrong.
He's just ignorant.
He is. He is.
Finally. I can say that because I don't have to sit around the table with him later on.
I love Jesse, but I think she's... she could be very likable, but she's made some enemies. Remember, she was the first Democrat, one of the first to say goodbye to Al Franken. Right. And she was no friend of the Clintons, was she? I can't remember.
Speaking of which, I'm putting her over here. I don't think she passed your test. What about... hang on, I've got someone... there we are. Speaking of the Clintons...
Okay, this is a good point. 7 or 8 months ago, I said that she would run again, and everybody laughed at me. And I'll tell you why. I call it the obituary theory. You don't want the first or second sentence of your obituary to say she lost to Donald Trump, right? Because she was the Secretary of State, she was the First Lady, but she will be remembered for losing in probably one of the most historic elections of all time. How do you beat the obituary theory? You run again, and the story becomes the rematch.
Wow.
That's how you beat the obituary theory.
And how does she fit on your checklist?
I think that she has a problem with energy and likability. I think her party resents her for what happened to Bernie and how she lost to Donald Trump.
Okay.
But the story itself could be bigger.
In the middle. Not as bad as it can. Okay. All right. Well, that's the ads. We're out of time, and it looks like it's President Cuban.
Yes, I think it's President
Can
Cuban.
we have a
No.
President?
Wait, I have two that you didn't mention. I think Kamala Harris is a definite, and also one that's not in this is Mark Ruffalo. And I'll tell you why. Mark Ruffalo is he's a progressive activist actor who's relentlessly positive. So he's, I disagree with him on everything from the pipelines, you name it, climate change. We're not on the same page. But when I watch him, I can tell that he's actually genial, nice, fun, and smart. And he's also the Hulk.
Amazing.
Yes.
That is a good tip. So he's not the dark horse, the green horse.
Yes, he's the green horse. And I think the Democrats need somebody that can unite the party and the country, because you have this divisiveness going on. So it's about bringing America together. That should be their motto, bring America together. Bat. Then you can have a little bat. Bring America together. I should be in politics.
You should be running the campaign. All right. I think we're going to keep you here to make sure, because if they go with that, they're definitely going to...
I don't know about
a real challenge. Okay.